Welcome back everyone, this is MandoAllDay, back with another video, and in this video, we'll be taking a look at John Stewart. This is the Green Lantern from the DC Rebirth era. This is going to be the Amazon exclusive gold label glow in the dark edition. As always, I'll be talking about the figure itself in terms of the articulation, sculpture, and paint, and if it's worth your purchase or not. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button to know how to support the channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So let's take a look at the box, which the front is pretty much nothing. This side, the back, the other side, which only has a scan bar right there, top, and a bottom. Alright, and then this is just going to be the outside, but when you actually take it out, this is how it looks inside. Nicely displayed on there. You got the figure, the card holder, and so forth, which we'll take a look at all those. Here's the side of it, which is nothing. The back, and my camera's acting up right now. The other side. And we'll do top. And of course, bottom. All right, same thing. Alright, now let's take a look at the figure outside the box. As always, you do come with a card. The front of the card looks like. The back of the card. And my number is going to be 2,907, or 2,907 out of 3,000. That's pretty cool, I guess. And I'll show you the original card. So this is going to be the new one, right? And this is going to be the older one. As you can see, they're pretty much identical. Of course, this is going to be glow in the dark. This one's not. This is just a regular old school card by McFarlane. And then here's the back of them as well, too. So you can kind of see how they both compare to each other. Alright. This exclusive figure does come with a card stand, in which, yes, it does glow in the dark as well, too. Which I showed it before, but I'll show it again. All you do is put the card in here, slide it down like so, and boom, there you go. Now you have a card stand. We'll just have it in the back right here. It does come with accessories. It comes with two different swords, and I believe these are glow in the dark as well too. So here they are, two different swords, which is pretty cool accessories to have. I wish it came with something else because, well, I'll show you in a bit why, but it comes with two different swords, and it comes with a puck that has a Green Lantern logo on it, and it is glow in the dark as well too, and you can really feel it too. It has like a rough texture to it, but again, it is glow in the dark. Alright, now let's talk about the figure in terms of the articulation. So, head articulation, left, right, up, down. It's actually pretty darn good. Shoulder articulation, bicep, the swivel, elbows, wrist. Wrist is actually pretty darn good. Torso. Ooh, really good articulation of the torso. It does have this weird thing on here, which is fine by me, but it is a little weird when you have it posed like that. It looks like it has like a beer bellies of some sorts. And of course, torso as well, and swivel. So the upper body articulation is good, as always. And with these Green Lantern figures, majority of them are actually pretty good articulation. Leg, knees, ankles, and last but not least, going to be toes. So overall, the articulation of this figure is actually pretty darn good overall. Now let's talk about this figure. And right away, this head sculpture looks really, really good. The face detail on here, that grin, the painted lips on it, the painted eyes, the eyebrows. The hair is fine, just painted hair. Which, again, Hal Jordan's usually like short hair or bald, but he looks good though overall. But the head sculpture design, it is just top notch. I'm really liking this head sculpture and paint. Very clean and simple, but it looks really good. In terms of the body itself, it does have some sculpture to it, which I actually like compared to other Lantern figures, which I'll show in a bit. But it does have some textured feel to the bicep on there. Smooth here on a little bit of the shoulder. And, I don't know, this part right here. The tricep has that textured feel similar to the bicep. And the shoulder does have a texture. You can see it right there perfectly. Then you had here the gauntlets, which is kind of smooth out here, but the inside has this textured feel to it. I don't know if my camera can pick it up. You can see that. right here, and the hands itself on there. There's not much to it in terms of the hands. And of course, the chest itself has a nice Green Lantern logo. The abdomen does have that weird kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, but it has this thing right there, which again, when you do like articulation like that, it sticks out, which some people may like, some people don't. For me, it's passable because I don't really articulate it that much when I pose them. If anything, it's going to be like a small, minor thing, but it still looks good though overall. Very defined abdomen, chest on there, and the other arm is going to be identical, where you have that textured on the bicep and tricep as well, and a little bit here on the forearm as well. And that's pretty much it in terms of the upper body. The sculpture design, again, is similar to the previous one, which I'll compare in a bit. But of course, the main difference for this particular figure is going to be the glow in the dark. And you can really tell the difference right away. Just look at the difference, where this has like a brighter green, but of course, it's going to be the glow in the dark. And it looks good though. But I gotta say, I like this figure. I think this is a good looking sculpture design for John Stewart. Even the first one that came out, fantastic. But the one thing I'm gonna be complaining is gonna be this right here, because this figure does not come with any accessories. Well, let me clarify. It doesn't come with any accessories to be on here. It comes with swords, like I mentioned, right? It comes with a cool puck, cool card stand card, but nothing here for the back. I wish McFarlane would either include something or just cover it up, because this looks pretty darn bad, just like it is here. So it's one of those things where it's like, really, McFarlane? In terms of the back sculpture design, it does have this weird look to it on here. Actually, it does look really weird. Why is that there? Very defined muscle. You got more sculpture design here in the back too. Very subtle, similar to the shoulders kind of detail. Also back here as well. Overall, I gotta say the upper body looks really good, especially this head sculpture. The sculpture and paint looks fantastic. And again, the subtle sculpture design, I like this one more, because the other lantern just look, I'll compare it in a bit, but you'll see what I mean, but it looks plain. I like the textured feel of the other lanterns, but it's just plain and boring. This one though, very subtle here, the abdomen, it gives it more to it, if that makes sense. So overall, the upper body, I gotta say, looks great. Lower body on here, similar texture that's on here, same kind of style right here in the inner thigh. Defined legs, not so much. We got more of that kind of textured here, also present here on the thigh, on the outside. Then you got the glutes on there, very smooth on there, textured. And then you have here on the other side, or the other leg, then you have the boot on there. The boot, you can see a little bit of texture on here as well too. You can't really see it because of the whole glow in the dark paint, so it looks all, it overshadows. The paint overshadows the sculpture design, which I'll show you compared to the previous one. But it's there though. It's pretty much there. It's just, again, the not sculpture design, the paint, the glow in the dark paint overshadows the sculpture design though. But overall, I gotta say, the figure, it looks really nice overall. Good looking John Stewart figure. The head sculpture is top notch. And of course, this particular figure is going to be the glow in the dark one. So I'm really liking it, and I really like this figure. And I gotta say, McFarlane did a really good job with this figure. The base one looks good. This one, to me, is a better version, better updated or upgraded version, however you want to call it. So again, I really like this figure. So overall, is it really worth the purchase? Should you go out and get this figure? Here is where it becomes not so much of an issue, but more of like, yes and no. Yes, there are some upgrades. Like I said, the paint, the glow-in-the-dark paint. I like the whole glow-in-the-dark paint. I think it's cool. Gimmicky, yes. But on concept, it looks cool. But unfortunately, though, the price is going to be the issue, because it's exactly what it is. It's just a repaint of the previous one. This has the glow-in-the-dark paint. The previous one, well, just had green paint. And so the question is it worth the extra $10 of getting just the glow-in-the-dark paint? Personally, I would say yeah, for $30, I think it's a good price for it. It's not a amazing price or a fantastic deal. I'd say for $30 for what you're getting, you know what? I think it's a good price for it. One, the figure itself looks good. Good sculpture design, like I said, good articulation. This one has a glow-in-the-dark paint. But also too, McFarlane did added more glow in the dark in terms of the puck, the card stand, and the card itself, and some accessories. My only gripe with the whole accessories is the hole in the back, where it's like, really, McFarlane couldn't fill this in? Not a deal breaker, but it's one of those, like, really, come on, you were there. What couldn't you either include an accessory or just fill in the hole? But apart from the price, though, what I think about the figure, I like the figure. The base one looks fantastic. This one, again, in my opinion, is much better. And so overall, what do I give the Green Lantern John Stewart Glow in the Dark Edition Amazon Gold Label exclusive figure? Gets a thumbs up for me. I like the figure. The concept is gimmicky, but it's a lot of fun. And I like McFarlane doing this variety of figures. Some of them glow in the dark, some of them not. So to me, this one gets a thumbs up for me. Like I said throughout the whole video, these figures are pretty much identical. The main difference is going to be the paint. It's the same sculpture design, same articulation, same type of joints, which I want to talk about that because even though this is a repaint of the old figure, like this one right here, this is the original, this is the glow in the dark one, I wish McFarlane would update the joints itself for these figures. Like when he's going to do a repaint like glow in the dark one, I wish he did newer joints, because these joints are they're not very good. They're not bad, it's just not very good. And as I mentioned too when talking about the boots, you can see here, let me see if my camera can pick it up. You can see the sculpture design here, you see that? And with this having not be a glow-in-the-dark green, you can really see the sculpture design. But like I said, when you have the glow-in-the-dark sculpture design paint, you can't really see the sculpture on the boot. Nothing major, but I wanted to show you that. But overall, it is an identical figure. And of course, if you were to ask me which one do I prefer, definitely the glow-in-the-dark one. Gimmicky, yes. Cheesy, yes. But is it fun? Absolutely. And plus, when you actually have it lit up and glow in the dark, it actually looks really, really darn cool. Here we have Alan Scott. This is from the McFarlane Collector's Edition line, or Wave. And of course, John Stewart, Green Lantern. Both good-looking figures. But I will say, though, both of them are $30. So now the question for you is, which one do you prefer? A gimmicky type figure that glows in the dark, or more of a color accurate per se figure with Alan Scott? This is where it gets tricky, because on the one hand, I like this color palette, I like the sculpture design, very comic accurate, but I will say though, having a glow in the dark Green Lantern, I think it works well too with it. It is a Green Lantern figure. But if you were to ask me which one do I prefer, honestly, I'm going to go for this. I like this figure, don't get me wrong. This is a really cool looking figure. The paint job is good, and the color palette, fantastic. But when I think of Green Lanterns, I think of them glowing, so come on. Glowing lantern, glow in the dark, get it? Here we have Batrocitus. This is from the Dark Knight's Metal Wave, I believe is what it's called. The storyline, I should say. But regardless though, it's a Batman Atrocitus. And as I mentioned throughout the video, in terms of that sculpture design of the body, this one has some textured feel to it, and I like, but I also like this too. Kind of textured, like this kind of material. Let me see if my camera can pick it up. Here, see this right here? It kind of has that textured feel to it. A lot of the lanterns do, which is, it's fine. It looks good though, don't get me wrong. It looks good. But eventually it does get stale and boring. And so to me, having this kind of texture to it on the figure, I think it works better. Not a whole lot of texture, but it gives it more to the figure. Does that make sense? But here we have John Stewart, glow in the dark, next to Batrocitus. Here we have Kyle Renner from the, I believe this is the Blackest Night or the Target exclusive one. Let me know which one it is. It is a Target exclusive or the Blackest Night Wave. And of course, John Stewart. Similar to the Batrocitus present on here. It has that textured feel to it. And like I said, it's not bad by any means. It's not bad at all. See that textured? It's not bad, but I like more textured figures, but not too much. And I think, like I said, this one works. It's a balance of both worlds. But like I said, Kyle Renner, Green Lantern. And I want to say this is the Target exclusive one. Could be wrong, but let me know. And of course, Kyle Renner. And John Stewart, excuse me. Here we have Hal Jordan next to John Stewart. And I'm surprised that they haven't made a Hal Jordan like gold label by itself figure. This figure is just a repaint of this one. Of course, you can see the difference, the head sculpture, and obviously the white paint on there. But for the most part, everything else is identical. And as I mentioned, why haven't they made a gold label version of this one? I have a feeling McFarlane's going to do this one next. Amazon exclusive, and it's going to be glow in the dark. I don't know why, but my gut's telling me that, because in order for you to get this particular figure, you have to get the 2-pack one. And so, knowing McFarlane, most likely we're going to get a gold label glow in the dark Hal Jordan. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just guessing it because, again, we haven't received a Hal Jordan figure. Not surprised one day we'll see glow in the dark Hal Jordan. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with me on this figure? Do you plan to purchase this figure? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button to know how to support the channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. And on to the next one.